What is going on, SoFi fans? Welcome back to Fanatic Journey. So today I want to talk to you about what everyone wants to know, and that is price predictions. I'm going to go over my tail end 2022, 2023, and all the way to 2025 price predictions, give you my justification on why I feel that, not just throw out random numbers. But keep in mind though, I'm now a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence at the end of the day. But before I also get into any of that, making sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe is always greatly appreciated. With that, let's get right to it. So I'm going to start off by going over all the technical stuff and information that is going to affect the price all the way up until 2025. So more so in the short term, there's going to be some benefits coming from options trading. So based on the Q2 earnings, they still did reiterate that they're going to be having options by the end of the year, which is going to be a very big deal. Based on statistics, it does appear that majority of traders actually use options. So hopefully that will incentivize a little bit more individuals to jump over to SoFi, increasing the number of customers, and not only that, increasing the revenue. So it's going to be a twofold event on that front. As far as proprietary ETFs, obviously Anthony, I believe, has already kicked that off, so that's going to be a very beneficial thing going forward for the bottom line for SoFi. So that's something for us to look forward to in 2022. In addition to that, a little bit more short term is the student debt. So hypothetically, they do have up until August the 31st to either make a decision, extend it, or actually make something on that. So that might be something that does positively affect the price in the short term. But me personally, I feel that it's going to come in 2023. And similarly, what was said on the actual earnings call as well, they do feel that it's going to be up until 2023 that it does get extended to. So that's something you really need to factor in. And what does that mean for the stock price? Ultimately, every quarter that it does get extended, they potentially lose out anywhere from 35 to 50 million in revenue. So that's a pretty substantial deal. So 2022 might be a little bit more of a write-off, but 2023, that might be a very big deal, equating to roughly about 200 million in extra revenue that obviously we weren't really accounting for. So that's something might be very benefiting the price for 2023, and obviously my price prediction is going to reflect that as well. And when it comes down to it though, there was a lot of recent acquisitions that we all technically know about. So right here, it goes over the actual benefits of this, and this was obviously based on all of their PR and things like that. So it does go to show that recent acquisitions will save SoFi $80 million between 2023 and 2025, 65 million on annual savings going forward after that. As far as revenue, that's what everyone wants to know for revenue. So as far as 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧, it does show that 178 million in revenue was generated by just that in 2021. Technisys was 70 million in 2021, up 24% from 2020, which obviously you always want your underlying businesses to grow and flourish and things like that, but does project by 2025 they're going to increase revenue by 500 to 800 million. So that is going to be substantial. And when it comes down to it, I'm just going to quickly pop over here and just put that in perspective. So this is all the annual recommendations and analyst ratings based on SoFi for the coming years. So you can see 2025 we're actually positive on earnings per share, meaning that we're going to be a profitable company in 2025. Obviously we're earning revenues and things like that, but as far as a net profit, 2025 is the year to do it. So this is why a lot of people always say, why are you investing in SoFi if you're just going to think short term? That's not the right mentality to have. 2025 onwards, or even 2024 potentially, is where you need to have your mentality. So just take that into consideration when you are investing in SoFi. It should be a long-term investment. And one thing I always bring up in a lot of videos is 13Fs, which is disclosures to the SEC showing their positions and their averages. Most actual institutions have an average of SoFi in the teens. So the fact is that SoFi had a substantial amount of value at 15 plus. And so keep in mind, we're roughly around $14 when we did get the actual news about being a chartered bank. So that came in January. I like to use that as a good benchmark as far as what our intrinsic value should be. So that's my own 2 cents on how I see things. But you can see ultimately the earnings per share does continue to grow every single year. And not only that though, a lot of people care about revenue, myself included. Look at the revenue growth every single year. That is substantial. So this is obviously going to equate to where I see things going for the stock price as well, because keep in mind, assuming a bear market does not cause us to crash or anything like that. And also one factor I just want to let you know about is hypothetically the interest rate. So based on the Q2 earnings, I believe it was 0.8%. That was the gap that they made from pure profit. So that's basically how much they paid customers APY versus what they charge. So the gap was 0.8%. So in the coming months, the Feds might actually continue to raise the rates, possibly up until 3.5%. That's my own projection on that. So if it is the 3.5%, that means even more revenue for SoFi in the grand scheme of things. So definitely will benefit the revenue bottom line so much more. So that's my own 2 cents on that when it comes down to it though. And obviously, given all my price predictions, it's factoring in that we're not going to have a major recession, that we should be either stagnant, if not trend up over the coming years. And obviously I know that's a little bit more vague, but I don't want to project a actual recession or anything like that. But based on the actual consumer data, with the exception of the recent one about retail sales, it's been fairly strong. So I think the bottom line is the numbers really speak volumes for SoFi. And I just want to quickly go and show you one thing, because I was reading through an article which basically prompted this whole video, is here. Where will SoFi be in roughly about 5 years? It is a very interesting article, to say the least. It does talk on several different things. Even by 2025, they say that SoFi will not be a mature company, which is very odd to think about. But in perspective, though, it might be very accurate and very true, because the underlying businesses, obviously the 2 acquisitions that they recently did, will only start to really become very beneficial and profitable 2024, 2025. So it's very hard to say that SoFi is going to be a mature company when that is just occurring at that stages. So at the end of the day, I think there's a lot of positive things to come from the Q2 earnings. I think that also puts SoFi in a different perspective at the end of the day, because based on my projections as well, maybe Q4 2022, if not early first half of 2023, given if everything continues the same, SoFi might actually be debt-free, which is mind-blowing. So given the circumstances, I just want to quickly show you this. So there is this website as well that goes over price predictions. So 2022, it does project SoFi being $11.76, which in reality, even before this, I did project it at around $12. So given the circumstances, obviously the student debt getting extended, and also them following through with the options and ETFs and all that, I feel that $12 is very realistic and fair for SoFi. And technically 2023, this is where I start to have a little bit more of a deviation from this projection. So they projected roughly about 1634, which in reality, given the circumstances of where SoFi is, it's not that bad of a return on investment. Me, personally, I feel that we can easily be around $40. And that's my own 2 cents on all that. That's keeping in mind that the 2 acquisitions are going to start benefiting SoFi significantly more. Student debt is going to come. Interest rates are going to continue to increase. It's going to be a well-rounded, beneficial year for SoFi. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. I personally feel that 40 is very realistic. And then going forward, as far as 2024 and 2025, I think it's more so on a percentage basis. That's what you really need to factor in. I personally feel that between 40 to 50% of the value from 2023 will continue based on the growth. And especially based on what I just showed you as well, the revenue, it does continue to grow roughly around a 30 to 40% basis points. So that's not even factoring in new multiples, new products coming in, because technically during this whole time frame, SoFi might actually get more acquisitions as well, because if they are actually debt free by 2023, they're going to have a ton of cash and they'll want to innovate more and more. And obviously, how do you do that? You get more acquisitions, you get more beneficial companies to ultimately benefit SoFi. So that definitely will affect the price significantly. But by 2024, I see us between the $50 to $60 range, and 2025, I see us roughly around the $80 to $90 range. That's obviously given they continued the growth that they are on, they continue the huge amount of customer growth. There's a lot of different things and different factors that could affect by 2025 the price. But let me know your thoughts on all that in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on my price predictions. If you think that they're out to lunch or if they're completely wrong, give me some heck in the comments below. I definitely would be open to interpretation on if there is other things I did miss as well. So let me know your thoughts on all of that in the comments below. But with all that, I appreciate you guys watching, and let's all make a lot of money on SoFi.